Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Tailfin Journey Pannier bike rack. Tailfin's rack systems have been one of the best on the market with quick release mounts and various accessories that accommodate any type of rider. The new Tailfin Journey is a more affordable alloy-only version bike rack that is part of their simplified rack offerings. Before they had a carbon and alloy variation, the Journey replaces the previous alloy one with this more affordable one. Packaging wise, you can see a nice big box with Tailfin on there. And that's pretty much it. With these racks, you also get a lot of little accessories. So depending on what you want to attach, you might get additional boxes like we have here. So they have a lot of options for different bikes. I'll go ahead and start opening this up. We'll go over the specs. This is a much more affordable rack, being alloy only. It ranges from $185 all the way up to $280. The version we have here is $270. We have the Pannier version with the QR attachment, so it comes with its own little skewer. It has a 22 to 32 kilogram capacity range, depending on which one you get. The Panniers obviously got a little bit more strength to it because you put the Panniers on there. And it's a folding design, so it's really designed to be easy to travel with and easy to quickly remove. It also has a lockable seat post mount, so if you don't want this to be stolen really easily, you can see there's a little bolt hole here. That'll clamp this down so they can't release it off the seat post. It has a ton of available accessories, mud guards, light attachments, and with these racks, there's tons of additional bolt holes along the edges, so you can set this up however you desire. Packaging wise, really nice, so you can see with the folding design, it's a much smaller box than the previous ones. And the most complicated part is the billion accessories, so some of these are for the seat post attachment, so I think you can have different angles. These are the quick release pieces for the through axle or the QR axle, depending on which one you got. Then you get additional pieces here and there, so it's the back key. And that's about it. Now with this one, you definitely want to take your time to set it up. Like I said, it can be a little bit complicated, but they have a nice instruction manual and videos on their website. Now as far as the initial setup, there's a little bit of work, and you can see there's various screws inside the bag. They do have a little quick reference here, but like most instructions, there's no actual language, so I'd recommend looking at the video if you get confused, or just taking your time. So I'll basically follow the instructions here to attach the top rack, which is this piece. So that's the unique part about this rack. You actually have a functional top rack, and you can see it's flat, so you can put boxes or whatever you want to strap it down. And then this connects to the, what I call the fork or the arch. So this one is alloy only, but you can see really well constructed and quite wide, so you can actually accommodate quite a bit of tires. And you can see this would attach here, and then the bottoms of these attach to the included adapter. So these would go onto your actual axle, and then you have this nice quick release mechanism. This is actually part of their patented system, so that's one reason we haven't seen it with other systems. So it's very simple. You simply open it up, pull back, and you can see it'll open up and give this nice little rubber attachment, and that goes on to their special skewer. But it's a really cool system, and it makes it very easy to install and remove. So I'll go ahead and set this up, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. Here you can see it all assembled. It takes a little bit of patience and time to figure out which bolt goes where, but you can see we've attached the top deck to the arc, and then added the little accessory on the front. These are the quick release attachment points. So you can see they're hollow in the center, and everything's just really high quality. So you can see the finish is nice anodized. The Pannier version has these welded on attachments. So it's 16 millimeter diameter here. It'll work with any bag, but it works really well with their own bag. It goes right on top with a locking lever. So really secure. You have all these additional bolts here you can remove to add a water bottle cage or any other attachment you want. On the bottom, you have their patented attachment system, so hard to do with one hand. You can see you remove the pin, and then you have this little arm that comes out. This goes over the special skewer that we already have installed on the bike, and those extend out a little bit further with that diameter. So you just slide it in, close this door, and then you can see it locks into place. They've also refined the finish on a lot of these parts compared to the earlier versions of the Tailfin products, and you can see that with the seat post attachment, this quick release seat clamp. You can see you have multiple levers here, or legs. We did the straight one. You can also do the angled one. You can flip it up or down if you want to put it higher on your seat or lower. So a lot of flexibility there. Unlike the other bag, which has a two-piece design, so one-piece design, but you can find the right one and it's simply bolted on. So you can see the bolt here that attaches to this, and that's slid into this little sleeve. So engineering on this is, again, super high quality. You can see all these parts look really well done, smooth corners, don't have any sharp edges or anything. And then you even have the little elastomer where you need it. The seat clamp mechanism is also very cool. So you can see you essentially have a single arm attachment here, and then this whole piece can kind of pivot up and down. And that's the nice thing about this. So unlike most racks, which are locked in place, this whole thing can move around. So if you have a full suspension bike that actually compresses, this will compress with it and you won't have an issue. But with this, you can see it's a very cool design, and they've updated it. Before, you had this locking mechanism where you had to be really careful. You didn't press it while you were locking it. They've improved that. So now you just slide it over your seat post. You put it in the right slot. And then you can see you actually have this opening lever, locking arm lever design. So if you push down, that'll pull open. Then you have more slack, put it around the seat post. And when you're done, you can see there's a little latch there. And then it'll lock into place, and you can see it won't move. There's an additional bolt hole here. So you can see there's a small bolt hole there. And that's kind of the extra security attachment. If you're parking this outdoors or somewhere you don't want someone to quickly remove this, you can put a bolt through the strap. And it's a pretty small bolt, but it's something. That'll really slow you down. So if you don't know it's there, you'll be confused of why it's not coming off. Because otherwise you can always pop the lever, unlock the lever. But they've definitely improved that design compared to the previous one. Here you can see the Journey rack installed on our Specialized Tarmac. It's a great looking rack, high-end, premium finish. It's all black, nice hardware, and then you can see metal attachment points at almost every contact surface. So very nice and clean design that's definitely robust for long-term use. Seat post and the through axles are quick release, and even the bag is quick release, so it's a very cool design. Removing it is very simple. You just pull the pins on the axle and the whole thing just kind of pops out. And then the seat post, a little bit harder, you have the locking mechanism inside it, so it's recessed in, so you have to put your finger inside, push down, and then you can pop the whole thing off, so you won't accidentally press it. You can see the whole thing folds flat as well, so it's a very clean design that's a lot more portable than the other rack, which would require some tools to disassemble to become completely flat. Reinstall in is just as simple, so you just line up the axle portion with the little cutouts, pop the pin on, and again, very simple to do, especially with the wider axle. You don't have a lot of contact with other accessories on the bike. And then on the seat post, you just put the strap in, push down and lock it in place. The cool thing about this is that the whole bag itself is removable. So here we have the speed pack with the adapters. The rear have the locking pin, so you just pull out. And then when you want to reinstall it, you push down. The front just has a tab, so you just slide it in. And it's nice and secure, and that means you can just pop off your bag if you're going in somewhere. And then riding-wise, it's just as nice as the other Tailfin bags. Keeps the weight nice and low, so whether you're doing a long weekend ride or a whole weekend ride where you need multiple days of gear, there's plenty of capacity here. You can install bags, panniers, and tons of additional spots for water bottles or other accessories. So really nice rack overall. And it's great to see this lower price point with the alloy only version and more versatility with the folding capability. Here we have a comparison with the carbon fiber rack and then the new Journey. Right off the bat, you can see the arches are quite different. This one actually has the full carbon fiber, so it looks a lot cooler. These are both the Pannier versions, but otherwise very similar construction. You can see they've made it a little bit shorter too. So with this one, you can see how it goes up further. The Pannier location is a little bit higher, but otherwise very similar designs. And the nice thing is obviously this one's quite a bit more. I think it's $500 just to get the rack set up with a top bar. We're running with the integrated setup, so that's the nice thing about this setup. The bag is part of the top structure. You don't have any attachment, so there actually is a structure inside. So if you attach this to the Journey rack, obviously it's gonna weigh a little bit more. But the big improvement here, I think, really is the seat post attachment. With the old one, the locking mechanism was much larger, so very similar. You have to push down to lock it, and it wouldn't unlock automatically. You'd have to push down again to release it. So it was a little bit of an awkward motion. And when you're trying to close it, your hand generally goes there, and it's kind of confusing because now you're on the locking mechanism. So you can leave it unlocked accidentally. With the Journey, they solved that. So with the second lever being much smaller and out of the way, your hand doesn't touch it. When you're locking this, you don't have to worry about it. You just push down and that's it. So they definitely improved it. With the other one, you had to hold just the tip to be careful. So definitely a nice improvement. This one has the single arm attachment though. And with this one, it has the multi-arm attachment. So 2 pivot points. And I'm sure they have little adapters to run this on the other Journey as well. They have a lot of the little adapters. That's the only downside. It can get really confusing to figure out what you need. But they have just about every bike setup, so that's the cool part. But this one, you had just a little bit more flexibility. But otherwise, I think the Journey is a really nice addition, and with the top bar, you have a functional standard rack. What we like about the Journey rack, it's a lot more affordable, especially compared to the carbon version of the previous Tailfin rack. Also has a nice folding design with quick release mount, so it's really easy to attach bags or fold it up and just take it off your bike and store it. It also has a nice flat top surface, so you can carry everything from boxes to bags. You have a lot of flexibility. The main negative with the bag is the fact that there's a lot of adapters and various parts, so it's always a little bit confusing with Tailfin to figure out what exactly you need or which parts to buy. Taking everything into account would give the rack a 9.4 out of 10. It's a simpler and more versatile rear rack. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclists. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.